So, you might be noticing that there's a little voice in your head that is telling you that something feels off or just isn't right. You might feel like you don't know what to do next or who to reach out to, and you don't know if it's the right time to reach out to a therapist. So, today I'm going to answer a question that I get asked a lot. So, the question is, at what point in time is it right or appropriate to reach out to a therapist? So, in particular, I get asked, how will I know if my anxiety is bad enough that I need some help? So, in this video, I'm going to describe some common signs that people notice before reaching out for therapy. So, I'm Dr. Morgan Levy, and I'm a licensed psychologist in Florida. So, as a little disclaimer, I do want to let you know that I am biased, and I do believe that almost everyone can benefit from therapy at different points in their life, even if nothing in particular is wrong. I believe that therapy can help you gain insight and self understanding to learn more about yourself. Okay. So, typically, when someone reaches out to a therapist, it's when they're starting to notice their anxiety or what they're feeling interfering with multiple aspects of their life. So, I'm going to give some examples and keep in mind that this is not necessarily an exhaustive list, and you may be experiencing something else that I don't mention. So in that situation, trust your instinct, and if you feel like now's the right time for therapy, reach out. Okay, so usually people notice signs of anxiety or changes that they might need to reach out to therapy. They usually notice it physically first. So they might notice that they're getting headaches, stomach aches, they might be getting sick more often than usual, muscle tension, stress. So they might notice anxiety manifesting itself in that way. They might start noticing issues in their work where maybe they're procrastinating more, they are avoiding getting things done because they're not able to concentrate, or maybe they don't feel as motivated. So those are some signs in work that you might be noticing, or in school where maybe you were able to get things done before, but now it's a lot more difficult. A lot of times people begin to notice problems in their relationships. They might start feeling a little bit more worthless, insecure, like they're not being a great friend, a great partner, a great parent, a great spouse. They might feel very insecure and worthless in their abilities. They might also start noticing that their anxiety is becoming so much for them that they're holding it in, and then they just lash out. They're getting into a lot more arguments because they just can't contain what they're feeling. And they might not particularly think, like, okay, I'm feeling really anxious. This is why I'm acting this way. They might not realize something is wrong until after maybe the argument. And then they're like, oh, why did I do that? What's going on? What's wrong with me? And so in therapy, usually we would work on understanding what led to that to even begin with. So, something else, some other behavioral changes that someone might notice is that their appetite changes, their sleep changes. Maybe they're eating more than they used to, not eating enough. They're having problems sleeping, or they're oversleeping, not sleeping enough. So they start noticing their body changing in that way also. And then emotionally, um, you might be feeling overwhelmed, um, feeling really bad, feeling hard on yourself, feeling like a failure or you're not good enough. So, these signs that you might be experiencing so much anxiety that you need therapy can show up in so many different areas of your life that might not seem so typical, or you might not think they're bad enough, but they're becoming overwhelming for you. So, you might notice it in work, in your relationships, physically, behaviorally, and emotionally. So, people also might decide to reach out for therapy when their normal way of coping does not help them like it used to. So, they might not get the relief from meditation, exercise, journaling, yoga that they used to. That it might not provide that sense of relief and comfort that it did before. And so, they realize that they might need something more. Um, Sometimes people are feeling so anxious that they start using substances, drinking alcohol, using drugs to cope more with their feelings because it's just too much for them. They don't know what to do. So, in summary, all of those are different signs and um, symptoms that may be coming up if it's time for you to reach out for a therapist. And if you're not sure, you can always reach out to a therapist and say, "This is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm experiencing, and I'm not sure what I need to do now to move forward." So you should be able to have a therapist who's able to work through that with you to help you figure out what is the best plan for you moving forward. All right, so if you found this helpful, please go ahead and share the post and let me know if you have any questions. So talk to you next time.